Where did, filters. Gotta love filters. I am wearing makeup, but let me try these filters. I love this one. I really like the black and white filters, so I think this looks so classy to me and so, you know, old time movie. I love the black and white filters. I'm just gonna sit here like this. I love black and white. Let's see. Are there any more black and whites? Ooh, this looks very classic, doesn't it? This looks so classic. I love the black and white filters. And then there's this one. I think I'm gonna go with this. Let's try something new out. Let's go with the black and white filter because it's very old time movie. I'm just gonna stare at myself. No, but yeah, I really like this filter. I'm gonna stick with this. It reminds me of an old time movie, like from the 50s or something. If you guys don't like it, let me know. But I like the black and white filter. Sorry, I thought my COVID cough went away, but it's still here. I do like old movies. Yes, I have not watched one in a long time, but I think this filter gives that good vibe, so I'm gonna stick with it. So anyways, welcome. No, I'm not gonna stick with it because I'm gonna be showing this. Oh, I really need to think things through. You can see it, but I don't know. I don't think you can read it. I don't know, play with these. Anyways, hello, welcome. We're not here for, okay, let's just go with that. I was gonna do black and white, but I don't think you guys can like see properly. Not that you're gonna be seeing much anyways, but yeah, anyways, welcome everyone. If you're new here, my name is Maureen, and I thought I would go over chapter 2 of the Shift book because I just finished reading it this week. It's not that long of a chapter. I don't know why it takes me forever to read these, but this book is a really good book. If you guys haven't got this, I got this when we still had Wellness Wins and I won it, so it was quite a good deal for me. But I know Amazon has it for about $20. I would highly suggest reading this. You get a lot of good wisdom from this. If you don't have a meeting nearby, or if you're unable to go to meetings, well, guess what? A lot of the things they talk about at meetings are right here in this book. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's a great alternative, but it is an alternative if that's what you want. So I thought we would go over chapter 2 real quick, and I would do a live and just talk about it. First of all, I need to find chapter 2 because here we go. So if you can see it, mindset shift 2. See, I'll show you this. This could have been shown in black and white. Could it not have? I don't know. Let's try that out. Let's try it out real quick. If I do black and white, can you guys still read it? Does it come out neater? I think it actually looks nicer in black and white, and it's more readable. Not that you guys really need to see much, but I really like black and white. So we're gonna go with this. No, let me find the other one. We're gonna go with this. Yeah, I still think you guys can see. It's great. If you can't, let me know. But anyway, so the title is I See Setbacks as Proof I've Blown It. Nope. As opportunities to refocus, building helpful thinking styles. So the first page, he goes over some sort of analogy. Again, I'm not reading word for word for legal reasons. Like, I'm sure there's an audiobook out there. They did not, Weight Watchers, this dude, Gary Foster, he did not license me to read verbatim. So I'm just giving a review, and I don't know, I'm just picking out things that I find beneficial. But if you guys read it, this is why I encourage you to get it. You might read it and be like, why was she talking about this when she should have been talking about this? You know, we all get different things. But anyways, so the first part, he introduces by giving a story, and he talks about this chick, Ellie, who was his customer, his patient, whatever. So he says, how was your week? And she's like, terrible. It's horrible. I blew it. And so he asks, okay, why did you blow it? So she went to a wedding on Saturday night. And she says that I ate everything I didn't plan beforehand. I ate everything. I had a cocktail at this wedding. Hi, Chris. How are you? So glad that you're joining. I ate everything. I had a cocktail, blah, blah, blah. And then I had dessert everywhere. And I was 800 calories before dinner even ended. And I totally blew it. And so he's like, and we've all been there. Just side note, we've all been there. We all, like, we have one of those days where we eat 10,000 points. And we're just like, oh, I totally blew it. So what does he say? He says, okay, so what was the rest of your week like? And she's like, oh, it was good. I did my usual thing and I got my steps in and I got my activity and blah, 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 blah. And so it was good. And so he says the wedding disaster was one isolated event. But like, that's what we focus on. We focus on that one isolated event. That's what Ellie was focused on. And it was so different from the other days. And it colored that one incident colored her perception for the whole entire week. And it was hard to put into context. And to her, it was as if she had driven over a road full of potholes when in reality, there was just one speed bump. And regardless of what happened that Saturday evening, she had been successful that whole week. You have to believe to say, no worries, Chris. You can catch this later because now I know how to save these lives. So, yeah. Good morning. Hello, Lori Mashburn. How are you? Thank you guys for joining in. So happy to have you here. So, yeah. So that's what happened. And now I'm like, to get 3 walks in, for example, she'd planned ahead. So he says, okay, Ellie, let's just play this back. It sounds like for about 19, or this is really powerful stuff right here that I think about. It sounds like for about 19 or even 21 meals out of the 21 meals you had this week, you did really well. Incredibly well, I would say. Like, dude, it was just one meal. It was one meal that you blew it. You have a whole ton of others to make up for it. And you did well because you had a plan and you followed it. You hit your activity goals because you planned and you made them happen. So yeah, that happens. And what is that? That's unhelpful thinking. So what does he say? That one disaster did not upend her weight loss journey. No one eating event or 2 or 3 ever really does. It doesn't. One meal does not make or break you. So if that was her typical thinking style when a setback happened and her response was persistently unrealistic with a helping of unforgiving negativity, then the next time or the one after that, she may just think, what's the point? I give up. We do that a lot, don't we? We have one setback and suddenly it's like, I'm giving up the whole thing. As some dude in my meeting once said, and I say this all the time, but doesn't hurt in saying it again. If you have a flat tire, you don't get out and poke holes in the other 3. And we do that sometimes. We let one flat in our journey. What am I saying? One flat in our journey and we're poking holes in the other tires. Don't do that. That type of thinking is the biggest barriers to successful weight management. If you have an unhelpful thinking style, and like we all do, you will benefit from mindset shifting skills that help you recognize what's going on and then show you how to address it in a constructive way. So that's called a fixed mindset, which assumes that our basic traits and skills are set and that we can't change and we can't improve. So yeah, unhelpful thoughts, all those that lead you to take actions that derail you, are nothing but mind trash. The good news is that research shows you can rewire your brain. Stop the scarf of junk and move on. Exactly. Move on. That's what we need to do. You can't dwell on something that you did wrong. So to readers who are thinking, sure, I recognize my unhelpful thoughts, but I deserve it. I did this to myself. I have these thoughts a lot. I did it to myself. I need to be even harder on myself. Remember the need to be grounded in self-compassion. And this was the first chapter, self-compassion. Without that, all the other good stuff can't happen. And so then he goes on to talk about these styles, these different thinking styles. And so there's the think and then the do. What you think determines what you do. This fundamental truth about human behavior that thinking influences actions is scientifically proven. Yet surprisingly, many people don't recognize it. Interesting. If you think in unhelpful ways, your journey long-term weight management will take the off-ramp over and over, regardless of how conscientious you are about what you eat. Interesting. And then he talks about CBT, don't get any funny ideas, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. Not what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. What is it? So, yeah. So then he talks about a whole bunch of stuff. He talks about CBT. Blah, blah, blah. Is it different when it's about weight? Human beings are not always consistent thinkers. Some people have one thinking style about one aspect of life, for example, resilient and open to compromise when it comes to friendships or personal finances, and quite a different style when it comes to another aspect of your life, like parenting or working life. Oh my gosh, that's so true. You see this. You see people who are so mature and really organized and really one way in like finance or household or their careers or whatever, and then they turn into the biggest babies when it comes to weight loss and about their health. Others default to one thinking style when it comes to weight and only weight. Having worked with thousands of people over the years, I've encountered this phenomenon so often. Yeah, so this is another thing. I sabotage myself on vacation. I will never get this right. It's all my fault. One patient recounting a meal to me said, I absolutely blew it. What a complete, utter screw up. I ate 3,000 calories. I was supposed to eat 1,200, so I blew it, plain and simple. There's no other way to describe it, and don't tell me there is. I'm done trying to lose weight. Oh my gosh, we've all been there. I've been there, definitely. It's a good example how thoughts lead to actions. The thought, I've blown it, can lead to the action of disengaging from the process altogether. We don't want that. The good news is that there is another way to think about it, a way that's closer to the facts and far more realistic. Thoughts are not facts. Thoughts are not facts. Saying stuff like, I'm a failure, I'm this and that, terrible things we say to ourselves, that's not facts. And when you shift to a more helpful thinking style, you can achieve lasting success. And then he talks about Kathleen. What was Kathleen's story? I forgot. Oh yeah. So she moved in a circle where like thinness was really valued. And let me tell you something, depending where you live and it's like you're super thin, it holds a lot of value. And to the point where it seemed almost required. And it made him sad because she was like a warm, accomplished, witty person, but she couldn't see that or feel any of all of these great traits that she had because she was so in her social groups thinking of that she was less than because of her weight, as if her weight defined her as a person. Yeah, don't let your weight define you like that. It's one of the toughest things to witness as a clinician. Did I pass second grade reading? I don't think so. That core belief impacted how Kathleen viewed herself and the journey. She was hard on herself and quick to make unrealistic assessments. So yeah, he talks about all these things, and then the fun stuff. He talks about like examples. Unhelpful thinking styles. Throughout my 30 years of experience in helping people manage their weight, I've noticed 4 styles that particularly get in the way of success. The first is all or none. Oh yeah, we've been there. Negative filter, once makes always, don't worry, be happy. What's all or none? All or none, as we all know, it's you're doing well and you stayed on track with your eating plan all week and you've gone to like yoga and all of these things happen and then something unplanned happens and you miss your class and does this next thought seem familiar? I ruined my whole day. You think after eating that unplanned something, feeling upset, defeated, hopeless, you process you proceed to eat more. Why not? The day's wrecked. Let me just wreck it all together. Or let me start on Monday. It's blown. It's all over. All or nothing, as its name suggests, invites no middle ground. Things are either black or white, like this filter, good or bad. If you're not perfect, then you're a failure. You might relate to this kind of thinking because it comes natural to many, especially on a weight loss journey. I think it's so easy to be like he says here, I ate a donut. I ate a donut. Game over. I gained weight. It's no use. All or nothing thinking is the extreme. We think this way, like it's either the entire bag of Oreos or none at all. Why can't you have one or two? Yeah, sure, it doesn't give you the same satisfaction as a whole box, but what does a whole box do for you? It's not feeding anything other than emotion, and you can have one. But the thing is about that one Oreo, don't just down it and fail to process that you ate it. Like, sit down, bite into it, get one bite, let the flavors roll over your tongue, really eat it and enjoy it. And then you'll find that one Oreo is more than enough. So anyways, the reality is that setback does not ruin everything. The focus should be on progress, not perfection. We're progressing here. We're not aiming to be perfect. We're aiming to be better than how we were, as my former leader said when we were actively pursuing weight gain. All or nothing thinker eats ice cream 4 times of the week and decides that that needs to change. And they may say, I'm not going to eat ice cream anymore, period. No, eat ice cream. This lifelong pleasure doesn't get whittled down to twice or twice a week or even once. It's never, never again. That's extreme. While all or nothing can be common for those on weight management journey, it can happen in other aspects of your life. Like if you forget to buy something at the supermarket, do you think the whole trip was a waste? If someone spills wine on your carpet, are you like, oh my gosh, this carpet is ruined, I need to toss it out? Generally, no. If you make one mistake at work, is it, oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this job, let me just quit? No. So negative filter. My goal of eating popcorn instead of cookies, I hit it only 5 days this week. I lost 3 pounds this week, but I'm still so far from my goal. Don't focus on 1 or 2. Yeah, you focus on 1 or 2 days, not the 5 or 6. You take the negative, far less common event and make it the narrative. Yeah, so something negative happens like once, and what do? We make it like that's how it is. But even if that one episode did make you gain weight, is that all you should reflect on? No, it's certain that you did numerous things throughout the week to be proud of, things you can capitalize on, help get back on track. What did you do right? We so focused like, oh man, I shouldn't have had that on Wednesday. I ate too much on Tuesday. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. But what did you do right? We don't usually focus on that when we have a gain or a setback or something. What are you doing right? So zeroing in on that one unwanted eating episode is going to make you feel defeated and lead you to give up. And it simply doesn't reflect reality. You do one thing wrong and suddenly your weight loss journey is over. I've been there. I think we've all been there. And that needs to stop, my friends. Is this your thinking style with non-eating behavior? He talks about what I just said. On your performance evaluation at work, do you get mostly high scores and one mediocre one? Do you tell yourself you're doing a lousy job and quit? No. Suppose you looked at your relationship like that. Do you have a perfect marriage or relationship? Yet having a less than perfect one doesn't make us automatically think we're bad people or unlovable. Who has been a perfect parent? You're not a perfect parent. I don't think anyone is. Yet being an imperfect parent doesn't usually make us think we're worthless or that we should hand the job to someone else. Yeah, if you do something wrong when parenting, you're not like, I'm a failure. Goodbye, kids. I'm going to go send you off to foster care. Go live with someone. No, you don't do that. At least I hope not. So, yeah. That's another negative thought. Another is once makes always. When I go out with friends, I always drink too much and eat too much. I like this one because he talks about this dude named Ryan. And Ryan said that, Sorry, going back. When I go out with friends, I always drink too much and eat too much. I gained this week. I'll never be successful. The once makes always thinker builds permanent mountains out of episodic molehills. No, I did not pass second grade reading. Okay, that's why this is so tough. But yes. Anyways, so he talks about this dude Ryan who says, "I'm never able to control myself when I go to a baseball game," and why, what am I missing here? I'm never able to control myself when I go to a baseball game. I asked him to explain, and he says that he always has 3 beers, 2 hot dogs, and popcorn. And so Dr. What's his name? Dr. Gary Foster asks him, it's what could he do differently? Does it mean it always has to be like that? Like, so instead, could he order 1 hot dog and then see after a few innings if he wants another? Could he eat something before the game so he doesn't arrive hungry? Could he focus on the food he enjoyed the most, hot dogs over popcorn? Could he have 2 beers instead of 3? Cut down. See. And what if Ryan didn't demonize his food consumption at baseball games, period? This kind of eating can be okay if limited to special occasions, if it has the effect of making Ryan feel stuffed and uncomfortable. Then it's obviously worth changing. Yeah, so that's fun. What was I getting at there? Yeah, so just because you always go somewhere and always do something doesn't mean it always needs to be like that. What could you do different? If that's the case, could you have 1 hot dog instead of 3? Evaluate how you're feeling and be like, okay, I could use another. Could you eat half of a second and share the other half with someone else? There's always options. It's not once makes always. And then this is my personal favorite. The don't worry, be happy. It's great during your weight loss journey to show yourself compassion. It's more than great. It's a must for success. At times you need to give yourself slack. Yep, definitely. There's another key component for staying on track. Your plan, the more specific, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, and then there's, when people in our weight management program experience backsliding, I would try to tease out how they were addressing it. Things will be better next week, said Carol. Great, tell me how. I'll work harder. Okay, good. What's the plan? I'll just be focused more next week. Though you always want to begin with kindness towards yourself, the best thing you can do is focus on creating a plan and setting a doable goal for what's next. The person with a don't worry, be happy thinking style is stymied not because of some deficit in personality or character or drive, but because of a simple lack of specifics. Don't worry, be happy thinking points out importantly that unhelpful thinking styles will not shift in a meaningful way through more positive thinking, or perhaps more accurately, positive thinking alone will not help you achieve your goals. I see this a lot in meetings. I see people who definitely need to be on the program and definitely work it, super struggling, not doing it at all. And they'll be like, but at least I'm here. At least I got to the meeting, which is great. It's great you're at the meeting. But going to meetings alone is not going to it's not going to help anyone get to their goals or get to where they want to go weight-wise. It's great you're coming to meetings, but that alone is not going to do anything. You have to, nothing, as he says right here, nothing changes if nothing changes. If going to meetings alone was going to help you get to goal, I think everyone would be at goal who goes to meetings. So it starts with awareness. Imagine you're throwing a party. I don't want to read this one because this one's long. I'm going to skip over this. If you want to read it, I'm going to read it. Leave it here. You can screenshot it if you want. Leave this here for a minute. You can screenshot that if you want, because I'm not. But yeah. Then he goes, the last bit. Yeah, I don't want to read this either. So you guys can screenshot it if you want. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, or read it yourself. He talks about this example. And then what I want to get to, the skill building exercises. So reality checks, skill building for unhelpful thoughts. This is the last bit, so I'll go over it. The reality check. identify unhelpful thoughts. So this is great. Like, we know unhelpful thoughts now. We understand. So what are some skills or what are some tools we can use to address this? Glad you asked. Let me get to it. Reality check. When you identify unhelpful thoughts, reality checks enable you to shift to more helpful ones. These new thoughts can get you feeling and acting in ways that will aid you in reaching your goals. So use this technique the next time you hit a setback and feel discouraged, disappointed, or another emotion that's not aligned with your goals. Okay. So identify an unhelpful thought. Ask yourself, what are my thoughts right now? What is the story I'm telling myself about the situation? What judgments have I made about the setback? So for example, if you're stressed, find yourself halfway through a pint of ice cream. You think, I ruined all my hard work. I'll never get back on track. All that kind of stuff. Reality check. Pretend you're a lawyer or a friend. As a lawyer, ask yourself, are there facts to back up my thoughts? What's the evidence to support it? What are the facts to prove this thought is not true? For example, is it true that I ruined all my hard work? Odds are no. Is there really nothing I can do to get back on track? No. That's diet thinking. That was big in the diet world. Like, don't have a pack of M&Ms because you're going to have to run 5 football fields to work those off. That was like that kind of thinking that you ruined all your hard work with like one bag of M&Ms or one cheesecake or whatever. That's like very diet thinking. We're not on a diet, you guys. We're not on a diet. We have to keep telling ourselves this. Is giving up the only thing I can do? What's that gonna do? What is giving up gonna do? Like, what's that gonna do? You eat a pint of ice cream. What's that? And you give up. So you gained like 2 pounds maybe eating that pint of ice cream. You give up, you're gonna gain 20 more. Why would you do that? Doesn't make sense, but I mean, doesn't make sense. I've done it. I've done that too. And I'm asking my past self, why would you do that? Why? I don't know. So respond to your reality check with a new helpful thought. Based on the answers to your reality check, is there another more helpful way to think about the solution? For example, yes, I ate that ice cream without planning to. However, that doesn't discount all the progress I've made. It's just one moment and I can get back on track with my goals. Or we all have times like this. It happens. Don't beat yourself up. You have what it takes to get back on track. The more realistic your thoughts are, the more likely you'll respond to the situation in a way that gets you closer to your goals. That's nice. That's true. And one more, noted, accepted, and then take action. Sometimes we get hooked by our unhelpful thoughts. They're all we can see. By accepting your unhelpful thoughts and creating distance from them, you can recognize them for what they are, just words and phrases in your head, not actual facts. And this can help you continue to move forward and make healthy choices. Number 1. Hi, Marie, little late. No worries, Lori Parks. Don't worry. I learned how to save lives, so they'll come. But you're here for the best part. I am going over in this book how to identify unhelpful thoughts and like sort of navigate away from them. These are all techniques. So that's what we're doing right now. So number 1 is identify an unhelpful thought, whether you're feeling unhelpful emotions or responding to a setback in a way that will get you farther from your goals. Ask yourself what thoughts might be causing this. What are the things you're saying to yourself? Name the thought as if you're observing it from afar. When the thought, I'm never going to be able to do this, pops in your head, say to yourself, there's that thought again, or my mind is telling me, Lori's in the house, a Lori party. My mind is telling me that I'm never going to be able to do this. I often have this thought when I don't do what I planned. This helps you create distance from the thought, which in turn helps you to recognize that you are not your thoughts. It might help to imagine a cartoon character. Hey, listening here quietly. Hi, Rosie. Welcome. I'm so happy you're listening. He says to imagine it as a cartoon character saying it. You can do that if you want. I'm not doing that. And again, do what works for you. Commit to action you want to take instead of the one that an unhelpful thought might lead you to. For example, you might think, just because I have the thought I'm never going to be able to do this, it doesn't mean I have to throw in the towel. I can have that thought and still take steps towards my goal. I'll start tonight by cooking a healthy dinner for my family. Someone else said this in a meeting once. It just reminded me that he said we always talk about starting over the next day or starting over the next week. Why not start over with the next meal? That's stuck in my head for a long time, and I always think about that, and I try to do that a lot. Start over with the next meal. When you reach a setback or challenge and have don't worry, be happy thoughts like I'll deal with it tomorrow or it'll all work out in the long run without also having a plan, it can turn a slip into a slide. Ooh, Dr. Gary Foster here with that wordplay. Okay. So here's some more techniques. Tune in. Pay attention to the thoughts you have after a setback so you can begin to notice. Don't worry, be happy thoughts when they arise. Perhaps, for example, you were thinking to start the day going to bed early, but something got in the way of your doing so, and you thought, oops, guess I'll start again tomorrow. Get specific. Now ask yourself, what specific steps do I need to take? In the case above, you might set a bedtime alarm or plan to stop checking emails 30 minutes earlier to minimize distractions at bedtime. Create a plan. Choose a doable solution, one you have confidence you can achieve, then enumerate the specific steps. Ask yourself what you'll do. Like, for example, Monday to Thursday at 9:30 p.m., I'll shut off my computer, silence the phone, and open a book so I can wind down before it's time to go to sleep. Specifically saying Monday to Thursday is better than saying a few nights a week. A few nights a week, who knows what that is? But if you say like Monday to Thursday, I learned this in my meeting as well. They specifically had a workshop on this at my meeting. So that's why I'm saying that if you can't get to a meeting, all that information is in here. Yeah, so choose something that's specific and doable. Not a few times say, I'm going to do this on this and this day at this and this time. Doing that, it's more likely that you'll do it. So what's next? Now that you know how to shift unhelpful thoughts that might lead you away from your progress, you can learn how to set goals. Setting goals that are specific and reasonable is essential for short and long-term success, and it helps you turn behaviors into habits. And chapter 3 shows you how. So then we'll go to chapter 3, and then he has some resources you can look at if you're more into it. I did skip over the CBT part because I don't understand that CBT, okay? Let's get that clear. I know what you're thinking. It's not that. So if you want to read that, that's in this chapter. And yeah. Is this book available for non-WWers? Yes, absolutely. It's available for anyone. It's available on Amazon. On Amazon, it's like $20, I think it was. I know that's a bit steep for some people, but I think it's worth the investment. I highlight in this and I go back and I look through everything. It's really helpful. But also, maybe like a thrift store has it. If $20 is steep for you, maybe like a thrift store has it. You can always go and check. A lot of them have good stuff. Or if anyone else knows any other, maybe there's an audiobook. I don't know if there is one. I haven't checked. I'll check that for chapter 3, but go ahead. But you can do that. You can make that your little homework assignment. I'm not sure how else to get this for cheaper. I got this through my Weight Watcher Wins. But yeah, it is available on Amazon. And I'm sure like someone's leaked it. If you put in like The Shift by Dr. Gary Foster PDF in Google, maybe you'll find it. I don't know. But yeah, it's available. It's available. It's a really good book. I like it. When I'm reading it, I learn a lot. And it's this book, it's like you can keep going back multiple times and you'll get something new out of it. So I just went through a couple things right now and I hope it was helpful. I hope it got us thinking and it got me thinking. I am going to go back and read more later on, maybe in like some time when I feel like I need it. But I like, and I don't really read self-help books like this, but I liked it. So anyways, I hope you guys liked it as well. Thank you so much for showing up. And I don't know, these are I like the techniques he has. One thing I wanted to add is that shifting your thinking style is not going to happen overnight. Don't feel like it is. Don't feel like you're failing at it. It might take months, it might take years, but guess what? That time, it's going to pass no matter what. So it's not going to happen overnight. Don't be discouraged if you're like, I can't seem to get my thinking mindset shift changed, right? Just keep doing these exercises that he's going over. Just keep doing it, keep at it, and soon enough, it'll get easier. I know it has for me, and so hopefully it will for you guys as well. So thank you, Marine. Good review. Thank you, Lori Mashburn, for joining in. I don't know why I just say Lori Mashburn. I can just say Lori, but I'm like, Lori Mashburn. I like the way that flows better. I like the way that flows. Thanks so much for sharing. I appreciate that. I'm talking to someone. I talk to myself all the time too, Linda G. Only child I'm an only child, so thank you for this video. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Positive thoughts. At least let's work towards positive thoughts. And chapter 3, I'll let you guys know when I'm done with chapter 3, and we will go over that as well. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to have a blog later on this. It's a really fun. I was late, so looking forward to the playback. Yes, it will save, I hope. So I'm going to have a vlog that I'll be filming today, and it'll come up later. So be sure to catch that if you can. And I will see you guys in my vlog and whenever I finish chapter 3. So thank you for tuning in. Have a great, wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye, you guys. Let's start this weekend off right. Bye.